All right, Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, and we ain't gonna give you no bullshit. Okay. Uh, so the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Denver Broncos once again. I turned it off after I think it was a late third quarter touchdown. Turned all the gear down and started getting into record mode. I just want to ask you one question, and if you would agree with this. Was this game over in the first half, and all Mahomes had to do was sit on the bench and watch the Denver Broncos melt in the snow?
Yes.
Okay, so we're on the same page with that, right?
Yes.
I do want to say something before we go and start ranting. I will give Fangio credit for at least bringing the defense to the game and not making the Broncos look 200% like a bunch of clowns. But as far as the rest of the team goes, um, it's just ill preparedness. I'm going to touch on more of an overview. Ill preparedness, bad decision making by the quarterback, a running back who has no business, who should have never been brought in as a free agent. There are going to be questions about Lindsey. It's great. I mean, the guy's phenomenal when he's healthy, but the questions are going to be coming up. Can the guy last in a 16-game season without getting injured? That's going to be a legitimate question going forward, although I do believe he's a superstar when he's healthy. And Shermer, was Shermer just another bad offensive coordinator? Should have we stuck with our last offensive coordinator and gave him at least a chance? So I know you like Drew Lock, but if this guy can't start making better decisions, he's got the rest of the season, but if he can't start making better decisions, he's got to go in my book. I mean, he's talking to quarterbacks. That's all great footwork, but you have got to be making better decisions than you're. And again, I don't know if Shermer's encouraging him to, not. Did you hear what the announcers were talking to Mahomes and the players, and they were saying that Mahomes is unselfish. He says, if I got to run the football, I'll run the football. If I got to if the defense only gives me stuff in the shallow stuff, I'll take the shallow stuff. I got to see this get turned around with Drew Lock, where, and then again, Shermer, he's working with Shermer, so it's almost, to me, it's kind of a toxic environment. Justin Hebert or Hebert, I call it Hebert because I know people with that name. Anyway, that guy was like about as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as you could get. He'd play lights out in one game and then throw more passes to the other team. Even he's playing smarter. And I just got to start seeing some brains out there, in the quarterback position. So defense did a decent job.
Shit.
What's that?
Nothing.
The defense did a decent job, and it's the only respectability they had in this game. The defense actually showed up in this game. Had the rest of the team showed up, it would have been a good game. Special teams. Yeah, I just did a recording, and I was talking about the difference between the Kansas City and Chiefs. Not just Patrick Mahomes, but you can reflect that on their special teams because they bring in players and they develop players. That's why their special teams is as good as it is. I've always been harping about that. Developing players through the system. I'm drawing a blank now. The scouting system. Sorry. And bringing them up because you have a good system and you know how to develop and bring in players. Also, McManus, why did you kick a ball in Mile High that could be returned? I don't quite understand that. I know he's God. I'm not supposed to criticize that, but he's got to understand he's got shit for special teams. He's got to make sure that he makes every kick a non-returnable kick. Kansas City did. They didn't have any returns. So on kickoffs, you can't let people return. So Mistakes abound, buffoonery abound. It seems like the Chargers and the Raiders have closed the gap on the Chiefs. I mean, we can't. We just like. I don't know. Maybe you're like you said. I don't know. To me, they didn't seem afraid. They just seemed like they had their head up their ass and just didn't know what they were doing. I just don't get it. Just don't get it. They were basically taken out of the running game right away with their gaffes.
Yep.
All right. Well, you heard my spiel. You've had enough.
I'm sick of this team, and you know what? I'm gonna call out Bronco fans here because they're just as much to blame as this, because you know what? They're so immune to what's happening on this field that they don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and I'm sick of it. I'm tired of blaming the deal, but it's Bronco fans that need to take a stand here because I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this constant crap that we have to witness on a daily basis. I agree with people on Drew Lock and Drew Lock. I'm not going to be a homer on Drew Lock. He needs to get better.
Yeah.
He needs to stop being that gunslinger. And Jay Feely said it best. You need to take those open receivers when they're open, basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You had perfect opportunities to move the chains. And what you like to do, Drew Lock, is you like to be a gunslinger. That's fine and all, but you need to get better at recognizing what you have in front of you, number one. Okay? Number two, Melvin Gordon. Okay, I said this, the first thing we got him is this guy cannot do anything special. He can't do anything special. We've said this for weeks. And you saw it in the game. He keeps running into blockers. He doesn't have the vision that Philip Lindsay has. He doesn't have it. So Melvin Gordon.
Well, that's just the small bad part about it. This guy makes huge mistakes, fumbles the football. The guy holds a football like a loaf of bread. The Kansas City fumble, that was inexcusable on their side. It was the same. They were almost identical. Mm-hmm. Neither player knows how to secure a football. And Gordon, of all people, this he's a defensive player, so you can excuse him. But Gordon is a running back. He can't be holding the ball like a loaf of bread. Of course, it's going to get knocked out. Then what does he do? He can't even pitch back a pass to the quarterback. I mean, it looked like the Super Bowl with all over again with Seattle. I mean, and that was just inexcusable. Then he goes out and gets drunk and stuff. I mean, come on, Elway. This is where I think fans should stand up. And they just excuse make for this kind of thing. It's inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable.
Yeah, I just have nothing really to say about this game. It was basically typical what I witnessed from the last 4.5 years from this team. So I just have nothing else to say.
Well, the team's going to be sold in 2022, so I don't, who knows. So, it just was a shame. It was nice to see the defense showing up. I did notice one thing is that first drive, that touchdown drive from Mahomes, Boye was covering Hill, and they had to absolutely take him off because and there's another one of Elway's great moves. They could not. Boye could not cover Tyreek Hill. He was giving him wide berths, and they had to put Callahan. I didn't know if you caught that.
Yeah, it's just this like you've said, this team is so unprepared when they face the good teams, and every time they face Kansas City, they had their tail between their legs. So it was
even worse than that, in my opinion. It was worse. And if they had their tail between, I could at least respect that to a degree. But they're out there fumbling around like the Keystone Cops. I mean, they're out there thinking that they're better than they are. And, a kind of a stupid swagger. I call it, more of a stupid swagger to their.
Yeah.
Making mistakes left and right. I mean, just dumb, basic, fundamental football. I mean, they should have just stuck to fundamental football both offensively and on special teams. Just stuck to fundamental. We talked about that. And then the weather came. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I've had to calm down because it's football and I get that, but it's frustrating because we've lost 10 straight to this team. And it's going back to the AFL days. It's going back to those days where we just couldn't. There's a psychological effect when we face Kansas City every single year. And I think it's coming from the top down. Bradley Chubb's getting upset now. You see Shelby Harris. All those guys have no life. And now you see sports talk radio criticizing, oh, we don't need players on that team. Why do we need players like that, man? We need players that
sports talk radio, first of all, they don't know. They have no clue about what's going on. Okay, at all. Yeah, and the defense, believe me, they have a reason to be upset in this game. They showed up.
Absolutely.
They showed up. Did sports talk radio not realize the defense showed up and the rest of the team didn't? Did they get that clue?
Yeah, and I think we have to start criticizing Vic Fangio. He's the head coach of this team. You should be able to get all three sides of not just defense, but you should get special teams at least prepared for a game like this. You're the head coach of the Denver Broncos. You're not just the defensive coordinator.
Well, that's all he is. He's the defensive coordinator. But where you got to go higher even. You got to go to Elway. Elway says, you're the defensive coordinator. I'll get the offensive coordinator. I guarantee you Elway's running the offense too. How much? And that's where the Scangarello, I'm sure where the Scangarello rub came in.
And it looks like Locke has regressed under Shermer. It's
he's definitely not making good decisions out there.
It's not, but when he was under Scangarello, at least Scangarello protected him from certain points like what you're seeing now. I think Scangarello how to protect Drew Lock and how to protect what the mindset is. Drew Lock is one of those quarterbacks where he's gonna take chances, and I get that. Or other people, I'm not gonna be Drew Lock homer. I agree with you. He needs to stop taking like in the beginning of the game. Stop going for the deep ball. I get it. You're trying to loosen up the defense and trying to understand what you're seeing. But stop going deep every single play. It's not going to happen.
And you're becoming predictable. You're even becoming predictable. Yes.
Now the league knows what you got, knows what you do now. We've seen it for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So this team is and another thing I have to bring up here. Chris Jackson and Justin Simmons. Again, they can't tackle.
Yeah.
They can't tackle. Justin Simmons is probably one of the most overrated safeties in the NFL. Oh well, you have one of the best. I could get by with getting rid of Simmons and Jackson. They can't tackle.
Jackson was doing some missed tackling himself. I think secondary wise, they need an upgrade. That it seems like Callahan, with Fangio, right, bringing Callahan in. That was in the secondaries, their only saving grace. They had to take Boye off of Hill because Boye has no way. I mean, he was off 10, 15 yards on Hill. Mm-hmm. They immediately, I'll play it. I noticed that. And then I noticed Callahan by the third quarter was already covering him because they realized that Boye doesn't even have a prayer against. And again, I guess you can thank Fangio and not Elway for that. Elway can't bring anybody in. But and
you saw it.
What's that?
You saw it.
Yeah.
This is the John Elway Broncos, and I've said it for years. He has ruined this franchise like Al Davis did with the Raiders.
Yes.
He has ruined this franchise.
Yeah, but this is where the complaint, these fans aren't going to see it.
No, because they're the feel-good crowd.
Yeah, the feel-good crowd does not, it's their head is definitely in the sand. I knew right away that this was not a Bolin production.
No, it's not.
I could see this coming a mile away, a mile high away, that this was no Bolin production.
Melvin Gordon would never be a Bronco.
No,
If Pat Bowlen was in, Melvin Gordon would never be a Denver Bronco. Neither would Adam Pac-Man Jones. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Neither would players like that. But I'm going off topic. But this is the direct result of ever since Bowlen probably couldn't do operations. This is the direct result of a losing franchise and a franchise that has no idea what they're doing. And I have to bring this up. Our offensive line today, Graham Glasgow and Dalton Reisner. I understand Dalton Reisner wasn't 100% healthy, but the book is out on him. You do blitz stunts on him, he's going to give up a sack every time. You saw it in the game.
Well, on that myth by that pitch that Gordon did that was over the head.
Yeah.
That was only part of the problem on that play. Bowles got beat on that play as well.
Nobody will bring that up.
No. And I'll bring it up. I've got all the footage.
Yeah, you do.
It definitely was the front seven of the Broncos that and Callahan. I'll bring that up too. I'll show where Boye, on that field has heating underneath it. Mm-hmm. So it's not like your backyard where there's, you're playing and it's slippery and everything else and snowy. It's slippery, but it's not icy. It's not the frozen tundra anymore because of the technology. I mean, you can get, and with cleats, you can get a good grip in that stuff. It's almost like a 4x4. It's just nice and soft enough. Your cleats can get I played in stuff like that before. It's just where the temperature's just right because the grass is 60 degrees and you get that mushy kind of grass. It's great to play in. You get really good traction, believe it or not.
Yeah. It's
when the grass gets tore up and it becomes muddy. That's when it gets really kind of slippery. But if you notice too, Kansas City's DBs from the very beginning were in tight coverage on Broncos. Yeah. There's no excuse the Broncos secondary has for being so. I noticed that because in that first two quarters, I was really worried because they were covering our guys tight and our secondary was really, really giving up a lot of space. Oh, but they're so good. Well, that's why you got to be in tighter. You have to be in tighter because they're so good.
And it's not like Patrick Mahomes is a god. We know that because I think that the book is out on him. I am not afraid of Patrick Mahomes. I am not afraid of him. People could say, "Oh, he has the best talent in the world." Dude, I am not afraid of Patrick Mahomes. He's the product of a Tom Brady descendant. Okay? And it's not like that offensive line played great either today. Our front seven was getting after him. Well, it wasn't
Mahomes is a good player, but he's got some gray matter. But he's got gray matter in between his ears. He was saying that I don't need to throw 50 touchdown passes, and if I have to hand the ball off in a game that every time, I'm fine with that. If I have to throw the shallow pass, I'm fine with that. That's what Drew Lock has to learn. He has to learn that I'm taking what they give me. That's what Mahomes said. That's a quarterback.
And I think that I honestly don't know if that's ever going to change with him. And that is concerning because he is a gunslinging quarterback. And
this is the NFL.
I'm not defending him.
No, this is the NFL. I mean, you can't be one dimensional.
Nope.
Being a gunslinger, it's great. It's great just to have that card in your hand in a deck. But you got to be, it's not game managing. It's poker playing. You have to be a good poker player
exactly.
Know what they give you. Okay, I see. I can throw it. I can send a rocket out this time.
That's what Peyton Manning was so good at.
You sit there with your offensive coordinator and you look at the plays. I mean, okay, I don't blame testing them out. Throw a pass out there. Test them out a bit, but don't do it right from the beginning. against a good team like that, because you don't get, you don't get shots very often against teams that are that good.
Yeah.
You really got to give what they can give you, and you're good enough. You should be good enough to keep the game close enough to win the game.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, this game wasn't that the Kansas City Chiefs. I know I hate this. This is cliche, and I don't know who else is saying this. And I'm not taking anything away from the Kansas City Chiefs, but the Kansas City Chiefs the offense didn't have to do anything in this game. The Broncos basically stumbled and fumbled their way to a loss in an embarrassing fashion.
It's an undisciplined team right there.
Non-disciplined team. So, I'm sure I'll listen to the sports talk in the morning, and I'll, listen to the ridiculousness, because they have no clue. They have no clue.
No, they don't. So it's the same old crap. It's the same old crap. I love Fangio. I believe in Fangio, but he's not the coach. He's not the coach of this. I'm sorry, people. I love Fangio. He has 2 years left here. That's it. That's it. Same with all the rest of these coaches and player personnel people. That's it. 2 more years of this, and we're done. Okay? So,
yeah, it's hard to tell whether he'll even want to head coach again. I mean, this probably gives him a bad taste in his mouth.
Well, for
you
sure.
know, they got to deal with Elway. That's the whole.
Yeah.
They got to deal with Elway. And I think that Shermer is a total Elway bring in, and because something happened between him and Scangarello. Something happened. And right now, Scangarello's stock is going up. In my book,
Oh yeah. Because at least he knew.
Well, maybe it wasn't you. Maybe you weren't the problem.
No, it's the same old crap. It's the same old. We're never going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs until we actually have stability in this organization, and we're never going to beat the good teams in the NFL. Those are when we face the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh or whatever, forget about it. That's going to be the direct result of. Look at the Patriots; they're awful.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, everything hinges on their offensive line, but I was never a believer in Cam Newton.
No, exactly. You think that Patrick Mahomes was going to do that today? I heard a lot of people saying that Patrick Mahomes was going to do the exact same thing. Like, come on.
Oh, I said in my video that remember in the video I put out there, I said that's not what's going to happen with this guy.
No, but Bronco fans are the feel-good crap. They don't understand what's going on, and it's a really annoying. Like, I get it. You love your team, and a lot of people are as ingrained in the X's and O's like a lot of us are. But when you see results, okay, here's a perfect example. There's only been twice out of the 10 times against the Kansas City Chiefs, I remember us actually being competitive. So you're talking about 8 out of 10 games. You've been non-competitive against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs have owned this division for 4.5 years now. And 2 out of the 10 games, that is a direct result from the top down, ladies and gentlemen. So blame the players all you want. But you guys are still going to blame Drew Lock and all that. I get it. Okay? I get it from a X's and O's and player standpoint. I get that. But Drew Lock has regressed from the player I saw coming out of college to now. He has regressed so bad. And it's didn't we all predict that though? Didn't we all predict that?
I did. But I saw him make bad decisions in college, and here's the thing, that doesn't excuse Elway. And I have to always ask, can you coach bad decision making out of a quarterback But, Locke is up against, he's in a crappy organization. That's what Bronco fans can't admit to themselves.
No.
Pat Bowlen is gone, and Elway has driven this thing down. Do you think maybe if Scandrella was here, he would settle Locke down and say, you got to only take shots that are there? He's getting input from all kinds of things, and he's making bad decisions. I mean, it's something I saw when he played Alabama. I was like, wow, this guy, it got worse as it went on. But that was the hardest team he really had to play, and it really told me a lot. Okay. These kind of guys, you need to coach them. At least Locke, if he's saying all the right things, he's saying he's talking to all these people, but you've got to make better decisions than what you're making.
Agreed.
You have to. I mean, you can't. In this league, you will not survive.
See, and if I was getting paid to do this, I wouldn't be agreeing with you right now. If I was getting paid to do this, and if I was a Drew Lock homer, I wouldn't be agreeing with you. I would try to push Lock up as the next Aaron Rodgers or whatever.
Well, I want to be a Drew Lock homer. I'm the guy who didn't want Drew Lock, but I will tell you that his technique is fine. He has come a long way on his technique. It is decision making. It has got to be, if that's the big thing. If he can make great decisions and using his technique, he won't have a problem. Throw the ball away. Nobody's going to yell at you for that. That pick six he had, I saw it coming all the way myself. Mm-hmm. You're staring him down. You delayed, number one. I got to pick that one. I saw it coming. Mm-hmm. I saw it coming. I'm like, don't do it.
And
don't do it. There's a time you just got to throw it away.
Where's Jerry Jeudy been?
What's that?
Jerry Jeudy been? Where's Jerry Jeudy been? All you Jerry Jeudy.
Was it that play? No, I think it was a different. It was a completion that he made. I saw Jerry Jeudy wide open, but he got the first down. Then that's what was important. He had to settle down.
And KJ Hamler, what he's typically done in college, dropping it or just fumbling it.
Yes. Yes. I thought the whole idea of bringing him in at first was to run, because he was like the top college return guy. Mm-hmm. And I thought that's where they would start him and kind of work him in. But yeah, here you go. There you go.
So I just it's
that. Well, no, I mean that wasn't on Lock at all. That one.
That's a pass you have to catch.
Oh, that was definitely a catchable. That's inexcusable. That was a totally inexcusable. That it's not that one. Lock in the second half. It's when Lock, and this is what I put on my track that I laid down for the reaction. We should have got the Lock in the second half in the first half. That's the Lock we should have got. He settled down in the second, but he should have been settled down when he got there. Mm-hmm. So, and then, Lock is only one issue. There's the whole Shermer issue. That's another. I mean, again, I'm like, Shermer's been a roller coaster kind of a offensive coordinator. He's had some great moments, and he's also had some real low moments. And right now, he's continuing the low moments. And
it's just the whole. Oh, well, you have a great 1-2 punch of Melvin Gordon and Philip Lindsay. Come on, Philip Lindsay. If he has the hot hand, continue to feed him. I don't care if he gets.
Well, if he doesn't get injured. If he doesn't get injured.
Exactly, but that's my point. That's what I'm saying. But I would rather have Chris Freeman back there than Melvin Gordon. I'm sorry. I don't see anything special out of Melvin Gordon.
Well, there isn't anything special out of Melvin Gordon. The less I see him on the field, the better I am. The better I feel. The less I see him.
Exactly, and it just seems like the offense runs better when he's off the field.
Now they had to take Lindsey out for concussion protocol.
Exactly.
It was a legal hit. Had played defense. I'm not sympathetic of people. His helmet. When there is true helmet to helmet, you got to cut that out because the guy hitting the person with the helmet could break their own neck. It's just stupid. It's stupid football. But that was a pretty clean hit. It just, the head went and did the old rocking back and forth thing.
Yeah.
And so it has to be. I would assume he'll be playing next week. I'm sure it's a precautionary thing.
Yeah. The reason I say that is because Philip Lindsay is basically our offense. But Philip Lindsay runs that offense. He's the heartbeat of that offense, and we do a lot of good things when he's on the field. And when you have Melvin Gordon on there, and it's just
disaster is always.
It takes
just
a complete turd. It's a complete turd on the field.
Did he throw a block at all? I'll have to go look.
No.
I haven't seen him throw a block either.
Now, at least Phil Lindsay and Royce Freeman try to throw blocks. Melvin Gordon, I'm going for the pass. I'm going to catch the pass, and he drops it or fumbles it.
Yeah, I didn't see him. Again, I'm still waiting for that. I'm going to go through. I got all the footage.
All right.
So,
but that's all I have to say about this game. I've said my piece, so.
Yeah, Creighton was my junior high school. Junior high. Remember, there's a age gap here. Junior high.
Yeah. I can't wear any Broncos stuff. It's just it's embarrassing.
I think Creighton was. I think our junior high was the Cougars. My junior high, yeah. Creighton, yeah. Cougars was back in junior high. That's a more pleasant thing to think about. My junior high. Yeah. Then talking about this. What'll happen is sports talk radio and these feel-good fans will focus on a couple of things, and they won't look at the bigger picture of this team going down the crapper and 2 years of it being sold and everything else. Drew Lock will probably be history. A lot of these players will probably be in other teams or whatever.
Chubb will leave, guaranteed.
Yeah, in 2 years. 2 years, yeah. It's going to be interesting. It would be ironic if the team ends up getting moved. They'd never want to give this market up here, though. But in 2 years, the NFL could be thinking a lot of things with the sale of the Denver Broncos and making a move. London, Mexico, and Canada.
Yep.
4 teams. That makes an international conference.
Mm-hmm.
And a brand new Denver Broncos like Cleveland.
Yep.
Something like that.
Or worse than Cleveland. So.
Oh no, yeah, and I said that a lot about 2 years ago, and I was like, "Oh, how dare you!" On the Mile High Report, I said that we're worse than Cleveland. We're doing everything that the Browns did that when they were inept. Oh, yeah. There, you keep laughing. Keep laughing.
Yep.
Just, all right. Nothing else?
No, that's all I had to say.
I'll listen to sports talk, but I'm going to go through the footage.
Okay.
As miserable and painful as it may be, but
got to be done.
It's got to be done, yeah. So, but again, game plans, Shermer. I think this is a good question. Should the Broncos have given Scangarello a little bit more time? That may come up too. Maybe again, should John Elway again be sent in front of everybody and said, "What were you thinking?" Knee-jerk reaction.
Mm-hmm.
There were definitely fireworks going on there. I mean, they were caught. I mean, people had reported seeing that. So, maybe he was telling them the truth that they didn't want to hear. We don't have the player personnel. We need better player personnel.
Yep.
So
Who knows?
yeah. All right. I'll post my. I'll put this in the can, and I'll post my little video coming up.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, take care. Sorry about the
Yeah.
loss. Sorry about
you're
your
good.
loss.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Take care.